So it seems to me that it was only a week ago that we were gathered here in our thousands to shout out our no to war. And at that time, some very prominent commentators and politicians, many of whom would like now to forget what they said then, told us that we had it wrong. Just you wait, they say, it'll all work out. They told us that the United States troops and their allies will be welcomed into Iraq with grateful adulation. That peace and democracy will be brought to a land that had long groaned under dictatorship, and that this country would then act as a beacon to the rest of the region. That they would create a perfect model of a modern liberal democracy as a harbinger of the new Middle East. Well, that was then. Now we know nothing that they promised has been delivered. Everything that we warned against has come to pass, and worse. It is grotesque beyond words, in light of that experience, that George W. Bush should be asked and welcomed here to Belfast by the First Minister and Deputy First Minister, and allowed to present himself as a man who can consolidate peace on our own little patch of earth. What shame! What hypocrisy! But make no mistake, the fight against war, the fight against what Bush represents, will continue even after Bush's presidency. And we have got to stand ready to defend ourselves against the suggestion that we should turn Northern Ireland into a shiny little fragment of their new order. We're told often that we now live in a global village, and so we do. Well, we live in a global village. The people of Iraq, the people of Palestine, the people of Afghanistan, the people of Lebanon, they are our neighbours. Their children are the children of our neighbours, and we should stand by them and not stand by George Bush.
It's important whenever Bush is shaking hands with our politicians up at Stormont and elsewhere that the ordinary people of Belfast and Northern Ireland are making it clear to him that he's not welcome here. And I think it's important from a trade union point of view that we express our solidarity with the trade unions in Iraq who are opposing the privatisation of their oil resources and all their other natural resources. Anyone with any sense would see the real reason why the United States embarks upon these escapades of war. It's in order to control natural resources, in order to give the transnational companies, which are primarily United States based, the opportunity to maximise their profits. And they don't care what damage they do to human rights. They don't care what damage they do to peace on their way to achieving those profits.
Thank you very much, brother and sister. We in Iraq know that there are too many hundreds, thousands and millions of people, good people in Belfast, in London and in New York did not support this bloody war. We know this war hasn't been done in your name. We know 5 years ago most of you demonstrated to say no to this war, but George Bush and Tony Blair went ahead and killed millions of people. Yesterday George Bush reminded us that the world is better without Saddam Hussein. He said Saddam Hussein killed many hundred thousands of people of Iraq. Well, I would like to remind George Bush, if Saddam Hussein killed thousands of people, he killed millions of Iraqi people. Under Saddam Hussein, we had a law and order. We don't have a law and order in Iraq now. It's absolutely chaos. We end up with millions of dead people in the street. We have 500,000 widows in Iraq. We have 1.5 million orphans in Iraq. We have 4 million refugees, 2 million inside Iraq and 2 million outside Iraq. If that's not a criminal act, what is the criminal? George Bush is a criminal and #1 terrorist in this world.
on this point. They invaded George Bush here, as many of the speakers have said, because they want to legitimise their own policy. Bush wants to come here to try and legitimise his foreign policy. Our Assembly wants to invade him here to legitimise themselves. And the size and the radicalism of this demonstration here today has given a resounding no to Bush, gives a resounding no to this invitation, and I think it's absolutely wonderful, the size and the turnout that we've had here today. Sign up to the anti-war movement, get involved, and thank you.
US presidents do these things often. So did you enjoy our rally?
We've already had an excellent protest at City Hall today, and the Bush Not Welcome campaign welcomes that and says that a joint campaign with a maximum turnout today will get the people of Belfast and across Ireland out against Bush.
This can be seen in Iraq, it can be seen in Palestine, in Venezuela, Cuba, Bolivia. People everywhere are fighting against US imperialism. And this is why today the flag of the Iraqi people was hoisted over City Hall today. Not a flag of imperialism, but a flag of resistance. This war is not going to grind to a halt by itself. Long after Bush has retired to his ranch in Texas, long after Blair is reaping the profits from the lecture circuit in the United States, long after Johnny Howard is, I don't know what he does with his spare time, but whatever he does, young people from Britain and the United States and Australia dying and killing in Iraq. And we owe it to them and to the best part of them. Everyone is redeemable. Everyone is a potential ally, and you never know where the resistance will come from, and don't let your prejudices block that off. Thank you.